Clairo, Charm, album review, let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Clairo. This is her third full-length album, and she's been putting out music for quite some time now, and, you know, she's been a little bit of a sort of polarizing figure in modern singer-songwriters, and I can totally understand why, because up until this point, I've kind of been in the same boat. When it came to her debut EP, Diary 001, I was kind of middle of the road on it. I mean, for every great track on there, like Hello and Pretty Girl, Forever as well, just really, to me, actually caught me off guard with how much I enjoyed those tracks. But on the other hand, there were a handful of tracks on there that sounded like they were written by AI, and Clairo just happened to be in the studio when they were uncovered. Just really faceless stuff. Now, a few years later, she put out her debut album, Immunity, and honestly, my thoughts on her music didn't change that much. Closer to You and Bags, tracks like that offered a genuinely sleek, compelling alternative to the modern singer-songwriters that we were offered at the time. But a lot of this record also really didn't move me either way. And on her last album, Sling, Clairo decided to go for a more stripped down sound, a little bit more of a folk sound. And there are stunning moments like Blouse and Amoeba, once again offering a great sort of alternative to modern singers-songwriters. But a lot of these tracks to me just kind of came and went. A lot of music coming out of the Clairo camp at this time was just so faceless to me, and that just made me shrug on a lot of things. I don't want to be that guy. Now, leading up to this record, Clairo released two singles, Nomad and Sexy to Someone. One of them I really enjoyed, and the other one took a little while to grow on me, but call me crazy. But I feel like this time around, Clairo is really onto something that she hasn't been on in the future. This album starts off with Nomad, and initially, my thoughts on this track were kind of middle of the road. I thought there were nice moments, but it was also a little faceless, but for some reason, hearing it on this record is like somebody turning on the damn light switch. I get it. It's breezy, it's carefree, it's sweet on the ears, it's full of love. Honestly, it's really well done. For a more stripped down sound from Clairo, I would a million times take this over where she's been in the past. Then we have Sexy to Someone, and I've said it before, and my thoughts really haven't changed that much on this track. I think it's fantastic and one of the best tracks she's ever done. It's smoky, it's bluesy, it's summery, it's a little sexy. It's very bright and sunny, but it also has this very quaint old school singer-songwriter feel to it. The woodwinds make me smile, her vocals are angelic, I absolutely adore this. Tracks like Second Nature I really do enjoy as well. I mean, how am I supposed to be in a bad mood with tracks like this in my presence? This is absolutely adorable, just so quaint and charming. And once again, it's just so sunny and inviting, and the production on this track I do really love as well, really hip. This track is just perfect for a sunny, summery afternoon outdoors. And songwriting-wise, and all around, I just feel like this is just such a great artistical leap. Now, if you think this album is a little one-note, trust me, I get it, and it does get to be a little bit one-note at points. But for the most part, that one note is just pleasant. Slow Dance I really love as well. I love how airy and sweet, and just how smoky her vocals come off. Full of love as well, and this track has some very playful elements to it too, mostly in the form of those synths. But it never backs away from being a very intimate experience. It's really nice. And Thank You is absolutely a huge deep cut for me, maybe my favorite track here. And I, at this point, did need a little bit of a shift, and this upbeat, very jazzy tune was just the ticket. It's just as sweet and quaint on the ears as the rest of this record, and once again, Clairo's songwriting, I feel like it has grown by leaps and bounds. Her confidence because of that has been raised to a level that I haven't seen from her yet. Also, this hook is really memorable. I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying the bulk of this record. I mean, it's not perfect, but for me, someone who's always been very up in the air on Clairo's music in the past, this to me is a huge artistic leap, and I don't have too much to complain about. Judah, for one, has lessened on me a little bit. I did initially enjoy this track. This one shows Clairo working with some sort of warm grooves. And that's not a bad idea from a distance. It's a very bright and summery album. But yeah, this track has lessened on me a little bit. It's not the worst thing here, but this instrumental is a little clunky at times. And sadly, it's the finale of this record that kind of lets me down. Like Glory of the Snow, I was expecting, I don't know, a little bit of a warm, wintry folk tune, which at this point I wouldn't have minded. But here we just get another very quaint, very somber, very middle of the road, sadly, folk tune from Clairo. And sadly, her songwriting is less interesting here, as are her vocals. I mean, take the sound of this record and make it less interesting, and that's what we get here. I think it's the worst track of the bunch. And Pier 4, as a finale, is a little bit of a letdown as well. And it is the most stripped down track here, and I don't necessarily have an issue with that. I mean, if you think about it, there really hasn't been anything heavy here, but this track isn't the emotionally packed gut punch that a lot of this record is. It's not nearly as beautiful, too. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I do get those faceless vibes here. Clairo has definitely grown a lot on this record, but she still needs to be careful. Outside of that, though, I do feel like I'm coming around to her music. This album is a big leap for her, and I still think that this is maybe not a perfect record, but one of the more intimate and charming records you're going to hear. Terrapin shows her diving into some sophistopop, and honestly, it's really good. It's jazzy, it's smoky, it's very emotional. And honestly, I think the graceful pianos are nothing short of mesmerizing on this track. Personally, I need a little bit more instrumental shake-up with Clairo records, and that's why I love tracks like this. The result for me is so much easier to get into than some of her other tunes. Also really love Add Up My Love. This is genuinely one of the best deep cuts here, maybe one of my favorite tracks. I love a lot of these piano-driven tunes on this record. A lot of them are very classy. And with that, Clairo brings one of her most confident performances to the table. It's jazzy, it's hip, it's just so likable and raw. And the backing woodwinds are really classy as well. Everything about this track makes me smile. And echo is the kind of risk that I wish that we would hear a little bit more of. This one has a retro, sort of almost late 60s sunshine psych feel. The very eerie, very strange synths on this track and Clairo's very subdued performance makes for one of the most interesting cuts here. It almost has like a Melody's echo chamber vibe to it. And I doubt that we're going to hear anything else in this vein anytime soon from Clairo, but I certainly wouldn't be pissed off. Yeah, this album overall is actually pretty decent. A lot of it I enjoyed much more than I thought leading up to this record. My hopes were very, very low running up to this thing. However, I feel like this is a big album of growth from Clairo. The songwriting is a lot better, and because of that, she is a whole lot more confident with the music that she's putting out, and things are a lot more memorable. It's just a very breezy, warm, inviting, and just very intimate project from Clairo. One of the nicest singer-songwriter albums you'll hear all year. Feeling a very strong 7 on this record, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.